Hello everyone, welcome, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, whatever the time it may be for you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got a great best of 7, all prepped already here for us this evening. It will be JonSnow, the king of the northeastern United States, playing for Storm Gaming against, well, a relative newcomer on the block, not for the player. PiLiPiLi has been around for quite a while, but no, his organization, Genesis Gaming, the organization that, of course, that is putting this event on, has provided the prize pool, doing all of that. They're relative newcomers. I believe they were just announced something like 2 weeks ago, and already they're making moves. They've signed some content creators. They've signed PiLiPiLi as their first StarCraft 2 Pro, and it's exciting to see another organization get on in here, so we could not be more excited for that. Is the fact that our players, they're spawned into game number 1 here on Lightshade, and let's get into it. Oh, there we go. It's a chili. And here we go in the bottom right. In the blue, representing Storm Gaming, he's JonSnow. And his opponents in the upper left, in the red, spamming all the chilies. In the red, he's PiLiPiLi. For the spicy strats, well, you know, as we talk about spicy strats here, we don't see nothing too spicy. Well, nothing too spicy from PiLiPiLi coming up in game number 1, but JonSnow, he has some different ideas going up here. As it looks like he's going to take his, oh, okay, no, he's just scouting for this at this point, but he did go for a 12 pool. And the thing we have to look at here, more than anything else, as things get started, is whether or not, it's how many links he built. So 8 to 10 is kind of the standard. That's what Zerg will go for. So they're just trying to exert pressure on the map. Anything more than that, and it's super all in. Sound on? It is, okay. And there we go. The links do pop. A hatch goes down. And this is something PiLiPiLi will be scouting just now, as he took pretty much the latest possible SCV scout while still sending a probe out on the map. So with how fast of a rush distance this map is, and it is an incredibly fast rush distance map, it's going to be rather difficult for PiLiPiLi to get the wall up that he would like, but we will have a Zealot done. And with the probe and with good micro here, oh, that's actually not a thing. And yeah, the Zerglings, they're going to be able to get in before the wall is down, so now the Zerglings going to get on top of things, going to get on top of this pylon ASAP, do what they can to just do their best to depower things. And now the Zealot, he's out of position, so the Zerglings, they're going to do what they can to surround, and the Zealot should go down, but a nice probe pull here will allow PiLiPiLi to escape. 3 workers have gone down, though, and the Zealot is now, well, he is in trouble. But of course, with the second Zealot out, Adept on the way, this rush is over, but it has forced mining time to be lost. It has forced probes to be pulled, and 3 probes have died here. So, JonSnow, well, I don't think this got exactly as much as he would like, but it's certainly, well, actually, you know what am I saying? Generally, this strat, it forces maybe an extra building early, that's about it. However, it got 3 workers, it forced probes off the line, it forced 2 Zealots. And what all of these things mean is, well, JonSnow, he's got to be pretty happy here, even as he does find himself down on probes for the moment. That is absolutely something that will change as the game goes on, as he has been able now to find himself at a tempo advantage, even if the game itself, even if, oh, well, you know, doesn't have an economic advantage yet. That's fine. He forced buildings early. He forced his Zealots early, and all of these things mean that, well, he finds himself in a bit more of a comfortable position than PiLiPiLi has in this game. Now we have the drone going out to take a 3rd base, and it will get it right before the Adept comes in. But now with the 2 Adepts and the Zealot, this is a pretty scary force for this early in the game. But with the 2 Queens here, should not be that big of a deal. Of course, the Queens will be able to shoot away the Zealot, and should the Adepts complete, which they most likely will not, there we go, well, the Zerglings are on top of things. But now we do have the Zealots, we do have the Adepts doing what they can. And the Shades are just doing a really good job of making sure the Zerglings cannot engage on this Zealot Adept force. Actually, they will shade in this time, but of course, do an immediate start. The question is, how many probes or how many drones will they be able to target down before they die? The answer is 2, which is not all that great. Sure, they forced a spore, but that's actually something JonSnow wants anyways, and there we have it. Perfect timing. As the Stargate is down, Oracle's just about done. And these Spore Crawlers will complete just in time. So what do we have behind this? A couple more gates on the way for a grand total of 3. And we're waiting to see what PiLiPiLi's follow-up tech is going to be behind this. Now, a couple Zerglings are going to situate themselves, really just to make sure that there's no third base that's going to be taken at any reasonable point in this game. But I'm not convinced that that was what PiLiPiLi is even looking for here. Is he going to send the Oracle in? Unfortunately, send it in under the Queen, over the Queen, over the Spore Crawler, and will not be able to get anything done outside of taking a rather significant amount of his health out. So, not going to be all that useful. And PiLiPiLi, really not in a great position here at the end of all that. He committed for Stargates, didn't get anything, and generally that would be fine. Stargate is a great method to make sure that you can expand appropriately. That's kind of what that Protoss have been doing. That's how they've been using the strat. But he took damage early. He's taking his third base at 5 minutes in. And that being said, I mean, this is... I almost feel like this is a fake third base. This is never mind. Okay. For some reason, I thought he got more than 3 gateways. Or I thought I had seen more than three gateways on the production tabs, but that is not the case. And we do have a third base now on the way. Zergling is going to shark around, and there's nothing here to defend this. So I don't know if these Zerglings will be able to actually force a cancel. They very well might, as the Oracles are absolutely out of position. Yeah, this natural is, or this third base is going to be canceled. If he's not careful, he's going to lose a bunch of sentries as well. Now the Zerglings begin to get on top of the sentries, but Oracles, they're back in time. That will be a-okay. Once again, we're going to have the third get taken here, but this is a 6-minute third for PiLiPiLi. And there's a rule of thumb when you look at ZVP. And actually, this I think we're seeing that the rule of thumb come to fruition here. 4 to 5 minutes. If you're a Protoss taking a third base, that's the standard timing. That says, okay, I'm going to be a standard smacker. It's fine. You take it around 5 minutes, 5 to 5:15. You have to be aggressive behind it. You have to get something done to justify that delayed nexus. You take it at 6 minutes, and yeah, you're not in a good position. And yes, these timings, they're thrown a little bit off because of the 12 pool, because PiLiPiLi had to build 2 Adepts, or 2 Oracle, not 2 Oracles, I'm sorry, 2 Zealots early. But now, of course, we do have the move out that was precluded by the fact that this is a 6-minute third base. PiLiPiLi does have to get something done here to make this worth it, to make it so that he has a chance in this game. He has to convince JonSnow. Take some damage. And now, here we go. Not quite a Soul Train, just a lot of sentries, a lot of stalkers, 1 Immortal, couple Oracles going and doing what they can, trying to do what they can to get on top of this third base. And the force fields are actually going to be really good immediately. The Queens will just go down, and there goes most of the anti-air, but one Oracle will go down. Second one will not, but now there's a Spore at the front lines, and JonSnow doing what he can to try to make this defense. We do have a Spine on the way as well, as it looks like this attack may have caught JonSnow just a little bit off guard, but he's holding well for the moment. A couple workers will get targeted down here, as PiLiPiLi does his very best to make sure that he gets something out of this attack. But that is only 2 workers. The Bile is going to go down, but now we have PiLiPiLi's moving forward. He's found the Ravagers in the back line, and the Ravagers, they're going to go down. The strength, the tech of this army of JonSnow, it's going down. It's not really there. And sure, the drones, they've been forced to be pulled, but there's no army behind this, not really. And yes, drones do pretty damn well against stalkers, but the majority of the army is not engaging here. JonSnow, it looks like he was a little bit too aggressive. He took this advantage that he had for himself, and he turned it into drones, and when he really needed to do, he needed to turn it into army, into roaches, into ravagers, into all of these powerful things that he needs to be able to make sure that he maintains his position in this game. That means he can take advantage of the damage he has done in this game thus far, and he was not able to do so. Now PiLiPiLi on an army supply lead, and against a Zerg, that is always the situation you want to be. The situation the Zerg never wants to be, and PiLiPiLi, he's found his way into the natural. And yes, the Spore is landing, so we're not going to see any fancy pickup micro here for the moment, but I'm not convinced that even really matters. And there we have it, GG, PiLiPiLi. He's going to take game number 1. All right, here we go in game number 2, spawning in the upper left. In the blue, down 1 game, but this is the best 7. He's not out by any stretch of the imagination for Storm Gaming. He's JonSnow. And his opponent in the bottom right, in the red, representing Genesis Gaming. He's PiLiPiLi. Alrighty then. So now game number 2 has started up. And we see similar builds once again from PiLiPiLi JonSnow. He's not opening with the pool first. It didn't really work out the way he was looking for. And that is a-okay. These things happen. Trying to figure out what got itself messed up here. And there we go. We're going to have that fixed. We're going to actually have player intros. All right. Oh, this is actually rather interesting. I don't think I have seen this since, in like 5 years. This is a 3 hatch before pool. That is crazy. I mean, with the legacy of the void economy, I don't even know how much it's worth it. Not really. I mean, you don't get queens timed out nearly as nicely. Everything's delayed, and you really don't see that much of an economic boost for quite a while. I mean, JonSnow, he's doing. Oh, that should be 1, not 0. JonSnow, I mean, he's going for it, and I mean, it's justified. I mean, he is the pro player here. I'm sure he's gonna show me something, and I, for one, I'm pretty excited to see it, to be totally honest. This is not something you see all that often, as we do see the probe just harassing a little, doing what it can, saying just a little welcome hi, no, a little welcome tase. Of course, the drones say, "Don't tase me, bro," and the tasing has stopped. But now PiLiPiLi is going to take a look at this. He says, "Ah, wow, JonSnow, you're a greedy man. It's 2 minutes and 30 seconds of this game, and your third base is complete." Woo-hoo-hoo. Now I almost wonder. I don't think this is the case, but so the better third for the most part, or the better fourth that Zerg wants to take is this one, right? Because you get that you get the rich Vespine gas, and if you take this third base this quickly, that gives you the opportunity to mine this out. But actually, no, this may actually be. So we're at 24 workers. There is an opportunity for this actually to be a Zergling all-in. But now, okay, with more workers on the way, that's not what the case is here. You occasionally see this in ZVZ, where you see just a real fast third base, and that actually does not say that the Zerg is being greedy. And it's more of a statement of the fact that the Zerg wants to just do a massive Ling flood all-in. Okay, that's not what actually is going to happen here. Is we do have a... Okay, so the Adepts are going to shade on into the main base, do what they can. Probes will be pulled, or drones will be pulled immediately. And 2 will go down immediately. We're going to see 3rd go down here. PiLiPiLi gets some real good... 4 workers are going to go down. Maybe 5. Okay, won't get the last shot off. But 4 workers go down for 2 Adepts. Absolutely a worthwhile trade, especially this early in the game. When the Zerg has been trying so hard to be greedy as possible. But yeah, unfortunately, no, this is not going to be a Link flood. It looked like it might have been. Looked like there was the opportunity for that, but nope. Now we do have the third base getting taken here with Void Rays to defend. And the question here, more than anything else, is what is PiLiPiLi going to do to transition off of this Void Ray tech that he has gone for? There are several different options. There's you add a couple more Stargates, and you just go massive Goblin style. There is you get 2 Void Rays, and you go into Twilight Council immediately and go for this. Well, with that third base, I don't think that's going to be the case. But you go for this Zealot Charge Void Ray all-in. That was all the rage in a bunch of online tournaments on the ladder for about 2 weeks after the patch drop. And honestly, I don't know why Protoss stopped doing it. It was pretty strong. But now we have a 3rd Void Ray on the way. No tech being shown just yet. But this is rather interesting. On the flip side of the map, nothing new, nothing strange here from JonSnow. We'd have the Roachborn just down as a safety thing. But realistically, with this commitment to Void Rays, I don't think we should see it being used all that much in this game. Zerglings are just going to shark around and look for things. And yeah, there we go. There we have it. The 2 more Stargates on the way. As Zerglings shark around. Yeah, they might get they're going to get some damage done to the shield battery. They should not be able to kill it. And that will be that. But of course, damage on the shield battery. Well, eventually, shields do regen, but not nearly as fast as the shield battery allows you to regen. So there's the opportunity by getting the shield battery that you can maybe get a run by later. Vitamin says that this is officially a message. I'm so glad that you have sent the official message, Vitamin C. What would happen if it was not officially a message? What if it was unofficially a message? But now we're going to have a Roach Queen Nidus coming in from our blue Zerg player. 9 queens on the map. More and more roaches on the way. And where are we going to see our... Okay, that is an unfortunate Nidus position to go down. The Void Ray will find it immediately. This should not pop. One overcharged Void Ray does, of course, kill a Nidus before it goes up. That is attempt number 1. It has been foiled, but there we go. This is more likely, but unfortunately, because now, or unfortunately for JonSnow, PiLiPiLi knows that this is a Nidus thing. And that being the case, he says, okay, now I gotta be looking here. This is the other likely position. Void Rays are gonna overcharge. Nidus is gonna pop out, but that just means 2 queens are gonna die, and that is rather unfortunate. Okay, now this is the Nidus that may get up here. The queens are gonna do it again to target this Void Ray down. Not even gonna bother with it, as the probe has found the next Nidus. And, well, the Void Rays, they're gonna find it once again. And these are three Void Rays at a time coming out. Okay, now this is scary. There should be 7 queens in this Nidus. Yeah, I believe this is 7 queens. Now we have the queens going in, roaches going in, and this is where things get a little bit scary, but the queens absolutely have... Oh, this is really cool. So we do see some probes or some drones coming in here as well. And with the spore crawlers coming in, this is going to make this push that much more scary. PiLiPiLi absolutely has to take this seriously, but if we look at the supply here, I mean, PiLiPiLi is in pretty good shape. +1 air attack is just about done, and with the sheer amount of adepts on the ground, to be honest, adepts are really not the best defensive or the best unit to deal with what this army has. But we're just waiting for more shield batteries to come up, and for that +1 air to be complete. Once +1 air is done, transfuse all you want. These queens are going to go down post haste. Now with the shield battery overcharged as well, Void Rays doing what they can, targeting down all of these queens. And this is what we're looking at: 10 queens left, 7 Void Rays, and these queens are going down faster than the Void Rays are. Now PiLiPiLi does need to target the queens down and not just let them fire willy-nilly. So the queens are going down. The Void Rays, they still remain dominant. 2 or 3 Void Rays being built at a time, and it looks like we're going to have a hold here. Here are 7 workers have gone down, but it's 55 workers to 37 probes. And the Void Rays, they're going to jump on top of everything. There we have it. GG, PiLiPiLi. He's going to take game number 2. And here we are, spawning in the upper right. In the blue. Down 2 games to 0. He's the Blues Dirk for Psystorm. He's JonSnow. And his opponent in the bottom left, in the red on a tear thus far. Spam this chili to help PiLiPiLi. He's PiLiPiLi. And yes, I said his name twice in a row. Don't judge. Or do. What do I know? It's a free country. You all have the right to judge me. I judge these, but please do so nicely. All right, so the question is, what adaptations are we gonna see here for this game number 3? Game number 1. We saw 12 pool from JonSnow. It kind of worked out. And he did a great job. He delayed the third, but he did not identify that because the third had been delayed so much, because of the damage he did early, PiLiPiLi had no choice but to all in. And all in he did. He hit a pretty cool gateway soul train thing. And it worked. He won the game. Game number 2. JonSnow tried for a Queenling Nidus, or a Queen Roach Nidus, but it took so long for that night. It took, I think it was the 3rd or 4th Nidus that finally was able to go down. And in all of that time, well, PiLiPiLi was building his defenses, building more Void Rays, getting +1 air done, and all of those things meant that, well, JonSnow, the attack, especially because 2 of his queens were marooned before anything could happen, just really did not have the oomph, did not have the power he needed to knock the Void Rays from the skies, to kill off everything on the ground, and he was forced to tap out. Now, game number 3, it looks like we're going to have a Glaives opening coming here from PiLiPiLi. And I believe that, yes, so this is the first game that is not a Stargate opener, that we have the Robo in the wall. So this will absolutely be a Glaives opener for the most part, unless I'm absolutely incorrect, which is always a possibility, but this is shaping up to be Glaives, and we do have Adepts going out to scout for the moment. Here we go, Glaives on the way. Third base now on the way for JonSnow as well. And again, the question we ask ourselves is, how does JonSnow react? PiLiPiLi has taken 2 straight games. He has taken damage. He is bent, but he has not broken. And in doing so, he's finding himself in a pretty excellent position in this game. And now, first time, he is choosing to be aggressive. And I say this from a game planning perspective. Game number 1, he was aggressive, he went all in, but he was kind of forced to be all in. Okay, now that these Zerglings going on in here, they should not get the Adept. Yeah, okay, they're not going to be able to get the Adept. Just do some rather significant damage. Oh, there we go. The Adept surviving on 2 HP. That is some calculated play right there. And we do have 3 more gates coming down. And this will eventually be scouted. This is going to get scouted right at around the time the Warp Prism is moving across the map, so it's scouted, yes, but pretty much the latest possible. Actually, will it? Yeah, okay, it will be scouted here, but at the cost of the Overlord. No big deal, that is expected. Now we do have Roachborn on the way, but this is not quite the DRG defense that we are so used to seeing. There is, okay, the Spine is on the way now, so there we go. That being said, this Spine is a whole lot later than your classic DRG defense, but now the Queens, they found the Warp Prism. It showed up on creep, and actually from this being, JonSnow, he's maybe not he doesn't have as much as he would normally like to defend this too. Oh, he's absolutely fine here. The delay in the warping of the Adepts was affected. Now this the Warp Prism has far less shields than it would like to, and now we have Adepts. They're going to shark around. I wouldn't even mind seeing them kill off one of the Queens, or at least try to fight one of the Queens. I don't, but no, they're going to get on top of all of the top of the Zerglings on the wall, and they're actually going to take a pretty good fight as more and more Adepts are getting warped in. Now we find them in the main base. And one Queen will just get assassinated post haste, and now we see the damage start to get done just a little. They will cancel the shades, and all the drones are going to sit here behind the mineral line. Now the thing is, of course, as well, now we have the Adepts are going to shade on into the natural, but they will not do so. They're doing a great job of forcing their opponent out of position here. And 11 workers do go down, and 11 workers and a ton of Zerglings will go down at the cost of, what? 8 Adepts and yet more. Sure, more will go down, but this is 14 workers going down here. This is crippling damage for JonSnow. Sitting here at 24 workers before his next round of workers do go in. And sure, these Adepts, they're not going to get a whole lot. They will be forced to back out. The Zerglings will find them, but now the Warp Prism's here, and they will be A-okay. JonSnow, he's got to go on the aggressive here. He has to be able to get some counter damage, otherwise he will not be in a good situation whatsoever. We see some just fancy micro coming in from our red Protoss player. Of course, he's trying to warp in on top of that, but that will never work with the amount of roaches that are there. And behind this, we see the June response. As we do have our Robo Bay going down, and we should see Disruptor's Warp Prism speed coming in behind that. Or Joun? Yeah, it's Joun. There we go. See, I pay attention to things. Pay attention when Alpha X says something like, this is how our player's name is pronounced. I try and then I fail anyways. But you know what? It happens. It's A-okay. So and I really like this actually. You see the Adept hit squad going in, doing what they can, just trying to snipe off some creep tumors. One of the effects of the recent, not even so recently anymore, creep tumor change. As Adepts, I believe it's 4 Adepts do one-shot that now just because, well, it's a light unit. Now we're sitting here, and JonSnow, it looks like he's just getting ready to go all in. More and more roaches on the way, more and more overlords on the way, and he's still sitting here at 34 workers. He has not decided to hang back and try to rebuild his economy and do all that and accept his loss. He says, you know what, if I have any chance in this game, well, it's going to start by me killing off this Warp Prism, and he will just barely not be able to do so. All the Queen of the High Ground just almost got it. Now, in exchange, of course, these Adepts will die. But the Warp Prism survives, and that is the worthwhile thing. Actually, these Adepts aren't even going to die. Oh yeah, but there we go. They do go down. And PiLiPiLi, behind this, he's got his third base. He's Blink on the way. 2 disruptors to complete as well. So now he can start doing what he can to pare away at the army here. But he's more than anything, he's going to find the army at his doorstep, and it's going to be rather difficult for him to hold this third base. That being said, with these disruptors, with these immortals, he's in a pretty good position to be able to do so. Now, what I will say is we don't have any shield battery. We only have 1 shield battery there at the moment. Nice disruptor shots to start things off. Second one's going to go off. And those were incredibly value war prism shots. So now we're going to have the Zerglings are going to get on top of things. Biles will go down, get pretty decent shots because the Zergling is holding him in position. But now with these force fields here, the Immortal firing more depth. They do need to get on into the fight. But there are just not a ton of roaches here. So this is at the amount that the Adepts are here, they can just fight the roaches. There we have GG PiLiPiLi. He's going up 3-0. Here we are, spawning the upper right in the blue, representing Storm Gaming, perhaps for the last time. It's JonSnow. And here we are, spawning in the bottom left in the red on match point. On show match point, representing Genesis Gaming. Yes, he has done the 420 GLUDEPS timing. And in fact, that is how he killed JonSnow last game. Game number 1. JonSnow went for a 12 pull. Pili held with losses. And then he went in and hit a kind of an Immortal Sentry timing, but more focused on gateway units. A bunch of sentries, bunch of gateway units, only one Immortal. Game number 2, JonSnow tried to do a Roach Queen Nidus all in, but the Nidus was found the first 2 or 3 times it tried to go down. And PiLiPiLi was just spamming 3 Stargate Void Ray. He had +1, so by the time a Nidus actually went down, Queens were able to find their way onto the other side of the map. Well, PiLiPiLi had just too much. He had 1 Void Ray for every Queen. He had +1, and he was over shield battery overcharged. So that was swatted aside. Game number 3, he killed with the 420 GLUDEPS. And here we are. That is the quick and dirty summary of the way that this series has gone thus far. Now, PiLiPiLi, he's got some maps to give, which means he can maybe do something a little bit crazy, a little bit zany. Move on into what is perhaps the most Zerg favored map of this current map pool, at least statistically. It's longer, and of course Zergs love bigger maps more than anything else. It allows them to expand, to establish their control of the map, to make any sort of rallies that go across take longer to get there. All of these things that are traditionally good for the Zerg player, less good for someone trying to deal with the Zerg player. I guess we put it that way. As PiLiPiLi reverting to his Stargate roots. This is what he has done in the first 2 games. Third game, wow, he hit the glaive timing. He killed 14 workers, and then just, well, JonSnow tried to go all in, and disruptors were out there in force. Too many roaches died, and that was that. Oh, I'm not trying to say that if a map is favored one way or the other, that is not a guarantee of victory in any stretch of the imagination. And in fact, you know, if we look back at Brood War, I mean, map balance was how, well, maps were how they balanced the game, because, you know, how many balance patches happened in the last 20 years for Brood War? None. Although I think maybe there was a mechanics fix. But this is pretty cool. We now have the solar build coming in here, and this is not going to be scouted in the slightest. JonSnow, he's taken a roundabout route to go in here, and this is not something that PiLiPiLi will see until the very last second. Now, we do have a couple of Adepts running on into the main base. They will scout these Zerglings. Thank you. But now we have the Zerglings. They're going to run on in, and this is only going to be 4 drones. Not the ton that you would normally see, but it's just enough to get the full surround here. And now with the shield battery going in, but the Oracle is out. And the Oracle being out does mean that PiLiPiLi does have the opportunity to hold here. 4 workers go, so many workers go down immediately, but now with the Adepts on the other side of the map, yeah, they're not getting anything done. But the wall off is there for the moment. More and more Oracles are being, I assume, chronoed out. Yeah, there we go, chronoed out. But the wall in is down once again. 6 workers have gone down here, so maybe there's the opportunity for JonSnow to survive. And as long as PiLiPiLi doesn't die, he will find himself in a fairly decent position in this game. And now the Zerglings, they will find their way on into the main mineral line. And in the natural course, we do see, well, we do see pylons getting targeted down. So the only thing that will be able to defend this are Oracles just sitting here. 16 probes have gone down, but there are only 15 workers for the Zerg player. And this is going to be, yeah, no, this is unfortunately for PiLiPiLi. Well, he may be able to hold this, but no, with no wall here, with only 2 Oracles. Sure, there's a third, but yeah, this is unfortunately with the Zerglings now streaming, there is no wall, and this is just a matter of time before PiLiPiLi does have to accept defeat in this game number 3. The solo build has claimed another, absolutely claimed another victim. Natural does go down. The Zerg's on 3 bases. PiLiPiLi gonna look to see what he can, but I am not hopeful. And yeah, save to play. That's just the music I found. I can't find any records of what Viking music actually sounded like, and everything's kind of based off of Beowulf, so close as I could get. But anyway, we do see PiLiPiLi. He's going to do what he can to establish his natural once again, but the Zerglings, they're just going to go in on... Surrounded, not even. They're just going to run into the main base. More and more Zerglings. I'm not even going to try to stream it. It's rather interesting to be... Honestly, JonSnow, I think if he just kind of hit the Zergling button continuously, he would have been able to win this game just like that. But he says, no, no, no. I'll hit the drone button and just kill you a little bit later. And I can't say I hate it. Oh, hey, look, it's Picker. All right, Senate. I mean, this is a decent amount of oracles. So if JonSnow is not careful, there's absolutely something he can fall victim to. But he says, aha, I see what's up here. There's just about one way I can lose this game. And this is how we deal with it. 3 queens are on the map. We see 2 spores in the main. There's not a whole lot of defense out here on the third, but now, okay, now we see a second spore. Hello, caster. Wait, I'm the caster. Never mind. Yeah, so we're just going to see a ton of... We're just going to see a absolute ton of oracles flow their way across the map. Another on the way. But I mean, this makes sense. What can PiLiPiLi make that's not an oracle? Really not. As we don't even have a cyber core done because all the gates died. For the most part. All right, so now we have the oracles. They're going to flow their way across the map. And maybe there's an opportunity. There is only 4... Oh, okay, never mind. That's double spore. 1 queen, double spore. Yeah, you're not getting in there. And it's 2 queens, 2 spores here. Yeah, these oracles, they are PiLiPiLi's one shot. They're one chance. Knees weak, mom's spaghetti or something like that. Anyway, it's their one opportunity to maybe get something done to find their way back into this game. And that is, with the amount of spores, with the amount of queens, not likely. Not likely in this last. We have 5 queens on the map. And they're not even really spreading creep. I would like to see them. Okay, there we go. They actually are. The caster curse, of course, is I think of something, and I realized that JonSnow or PiLiPiLi have actually started that 30 seconds before I wanted to talk about it. But anyway, we do see the creep connected here. More and more and more drones on the way. JonSnow with a massive economic lead. And PiLiPiLi, he's going to do what he can to take a third base. Now, the Zerglings are going to jump on top of this. And while there are gateway units here, where there are oracles that exist, this may be forced to get... Actually, it will not. Zerglings get a little bit greedy and nice force fields just off of every single bit of this nexus. Make sure that there's no surface area, and if there's no surface area, he cannot kill it. Now, what do we have here? This is a lot of sentries on the map. And with Phoenix being produced behind this, it really feels like PiLiPiLi has a hodgepodge of units that he maybe wants to get something done. But he really will not be able to do much. In all honesty, he will be able to cancel the 4th base. An Oracle, of course, can kill any building from full HP to 0, given enough time. So the Oracles, of course, will find this next 4th base if they have the energy, and I believe they will. Yeah, this 4th base is not long for this world as well. Oracles do a metric crap ton of damage, but they are, of course, glass cannons. They don't take much damage. They don't have a lot of HP, and they eventually they run out of energy. They cannot fire. Looks like, well, PiLiPiLi's approach to try to come back in this game, or to try to win this game, it looks like, more than anything else, he says, okay, let's go for Colossus. Let's go for, like, Blankstalker Colossus. That's a pretty good composition, and I would tend to agree, but we do have, it's a lot of Hydras. Well, good news for our Red Protoss friend. Hydra's, they're not all that great against Void Rays, to be or against Colossi, to be totally honest. But Corruptors are. And I don't even think this is going to be a matter of money for the most part, or a matter of tech, I should say. I think it's just really going to be a question more than anything else of PiLiPiLi. It's just going to have this economic disadvantage. But of course, as I say that, I mean, the workers, they're relatively close. JonSnow has really not been able to take a fourth base, only just now taking it and still taking economic damage on occasion. And the army supplies are roughly even. This is not the exploding army supply that we would generally expect to see. Now, the Oracles, I don't believe they've scouted the Spire. Will they now? Where's the Spire? Okay, yeah, they've seen the Spire now, at least. So they will know that that is an opportunity. And 7 meters on the way, so this is not even going to be some sort of corruptor thing. I don't believe he saw the Robo Bay anyways, or at least he's not seeing the Colossus on the map. So we should just see, well, there we do. We have a bunch of cannons now on the way, shield batteries on the way as well. Just got to be able to defend your mineral lines, as we do have a bunch of stalkers getting blinked, getting warped in. And Blink is just about done as well. But this is, in all honesty, suddenly looking not all that bad for PiLiPiLi. Now, these Oracles, their time of usefulness is done. Or they're not going to be all that useful anymore. But okay, actually, that's incredible bit of usefulness right there. They're gonna get the reveal off, and they're gonna recall. So now PiLiPiLi knows where the army is. He knows where he has to defend. The question is whether he will be able to do so. We do have Phoenix on the way here, but there are 2 Phoenix on the map, and 2 Phoenix on the map does not an anti-muta force make. But the Stalkers are going to blink on top of things ASAP. Now mutas, everything else, they're going to try to jump on top, but these force fields are going to be rather nice. It's going to shave off a decent amount of Hydras before this fight even begins. But now JonSnow, he's going to do what he can to jump around the map, force his opponent to just be where he doesn't want to be. And these are too many mutas. The amount of Phoenix here is just never going to work. Is never going to actually fight these mutas in any way, shape, or form. So we really need to see massive amounts of blink stalker weapons, but we're not even going to see that. As PiLiPiLi says, you know what? Okay, you've given it all these mutas. I have a terrifying army. Let's move across the map. As we have War Prism going in, 7 more stalkers on the way. PiLiPiLi absolutely giving up on any sort of defense here. 6 probes do go down, and he's just trying to micro at home. And of course, with perfect Phoenix micro, he can make this hold. But now we have 28 Banelings on the way. PiLiPiLi's really being forced to micro at 2 places at once, but looks like the play is at the front. We do have a full-scale surround going and doing what it can, but the force fields are going to be fantastic. Unfortunately, most of the army did not go down. But now the Stalker's going to blink on the other side. They're all just going to go down, and that was not the play, PiLiPiLi. Oh no, now it doesn't even matter whether the Banelings get on top of things. I mean, the force fields are nice, don't get me wrong, but there's just not a lot of anti-air, so the mutas, they're going to reign supreme here. That being said, I mean, the mutas are going to get shaved down, but there we go. The Banelings are going to get on top of everything, and there's just no army for PiLiPiLi, not anymore. The Colossi are going down, the War Prism does go down, and the mutas, they are dominant. The Phoenixes and the Oracles, maybe this is a fight that PiLiPiLi can take. This is not a fight that PiLiPiLi can take. There we have it, GG. JonSnow, through difficulty. All right, yeah, so it looks like an extra bounty has now been assessed. And there's an extra $10 assessed for whoever wins each of the remaining 3 maps, on top of the standard prize pool that we find ourselves with the prize pool that has already been announced. That's pretty cool. A little bit more incentive as our players, they're loaded into this game number 5. It's gonna be on Submarine, and in the bottom right, in the blue, down one game to 3 in this best of 7, representing Sidestorm Gaming. He's JonSnow. And on the other side of the map, in the red, representing Genesis Gaming, it's PiLiPiLi. Well, we say PiLiPiLi is the White Walker, but you've got to remember, JonSnow is the king in the north. He is originally from New Hampshire. I only know this because I looked at his Wikipedia page. I don't know if he's still there, but he's from the Great North. And I wonder, actually, maybe that's why he just has the name that he does. And that being said, it is not the Great White North right now. It's about, it hit 76 degrees out today. It snowed last week, though, so, I mean, who even knows? The weather's being a little bit bipolar right now. No big deal. Fun time. This will be the Pro. Gonna scout in. Nothing crazy coming from our blue Zerg player for the moment. However, I would not be surprised to see some sort of link flood coming in on this map in particular, because if you look at it, it is a 3 building wall. That's one criteria. It is an incredibly fast rush distance. And yeah, that's about the reasons. But you do see this on the map in particular. I am pretty sure that Kazakhstan is further north, because so if you look at it, if you compare latitudes, England is actually on par with Nova Scotia, but due to the like Europe is a lot further north than latitudinally than America is. So I would be willing to guess that Kazakhstan is rather further north. And also, yes, massive shout out. Use the Matcherino code. Give these players extra money. Support them in all they do. They're pretty cool people. And it looks like we have a lot of fans, or a lot of, I guess, PiLiPiLi's subs on him. They worship him as God, and as well they should. This looks like it will not be the link flood that I was talking about, as we're sitting at 24 workers and more on the way. So we're going to have a relatively stock standard game. Okay, we're going to have the glaive opening once again. This one worked once for PiLiPiLi. Just straight up killed his opponent. The question is whether it will work again. Zerglings, they're going to find their way in. Just do it. And again, this is going to force a pylon. It may get the adept. I don't think it will. I don't know. Actually, this is a rather bad wall. The adept's going to go down. Unfortunately, of course, well, there's not enough surface area. The Zerglings, however, they may get... Okay, nope, they're not. They're going to back up. It was a long shot anyways. But now we do have War Prism on the way. And these glaive, now that we can have adepts getting ready to move out ASAP. Let's see the War Prism Force go over to this high ground spot, kill off the Overlord that is there, because I think at this point JonSnow already kind of knows what is happening. But this is a little bit of a different build. This is the Dark Shrine follow-up that was so popular. Oh, I don't know, 6 months ago. I've seen it less now. Maybe because PiLiPiLi has shown this once. Because it worked. JonSnow is not going to have the proper detection. So yeah, we see there is no detection on any of these bases. We see no lair on the way. So these are the DTs when they come in. They may just be able to kill everything off. Actually, good job there. The no transfuses from the queens, really at all. They're going to be able to get one queen immediately. Now they're going to get on into the mineral line here. And we're going to have some workers go down immediately. Some lings just die ASAP. And yeah, there are only 3 adepts left, but the 3 adepts can kill things pretty quickly. The 5 workers are going to go down, 6 workers go down, 7 workers go down, and behind this, now we see for the moment, PiLiPiLi is not working anything in. Well, okay, there we go. 4 adepts on the way. Say, oh yes, he's waiting for the Dark Templar weapons, but no, he's going to be just fine here. As more adepts do go in. Actually, it looks like they're going to get dropped, and now Dark Templar, the DT tech is ready, but of course, there's only detection in the main base, and you need more than 1 spore crawler to be able to defend this. Absolutely. So the adepts, they're going to go drop in. They're going to run on into the natural. Actually run on into the 3rd base. And we're going to have a bunch of DTs warped on into the natural. There we go. 2 on the way. Looks like that was all the gas that he had. And now they're just going to run on in. This the spore's just going to go down. And that means this hatchery is forfeit as well. Adepts doing a good job. 6 more workers are going down. 2 more Dark Templars going down. And, well, that does mean that this hatchery is unfortunately forfeit as... Oh, actually, no. It looks like the spore was able to go down in time, so the hatchery does not go down. Great save there from our blue Zerg player, but yeah, this one should die. There's no way that we get any sort of detection in time. Another Dark Templar is going to get warped in, but yeah, okay. So we're going to see maybe some Archon drops behind this, but now, of course, JonSnow says, I am in deep doo-doo. I need to make sure that I get something done. I don't have a 3rd base. I've lost inordinate amounts of workers. I need to go attack, but, well, there's no lair. So DTs are just going to be able to defend that rather easily. And PiLiPiLi, he's doing the Zest version of this build now. So when Zest debuted this build at IEM Katowice back in February, or March, I think it was March, his follow-up was just an incredibly well-timed Gateway Immortal all in behind this with 2 Immortals with a bunch of Gateway units. Said, hey, look, you took a bunch of worker damage and you had to build units earlier than you would have liked. Oh, what if I just run a bunch of Immortals and Sentries and other things right up the gullet? And that is what PiLiPiLi is doing here. Of course, it's a little bit delayed because he did go for DT Tech. DT Tech that was absolutely worthwhile, by the way. It's a 2-base Zerg against a 2-base Protoss, and that is never a situation you want to be in. And now the Queens, they're going to go down. I'd really like to see the DTs just assassinate the Queens, as there's no detection for the moment. There we go. We have more and more warp bins. We should see just I think, yeah, there we go. 3 Archons now on the way. And this is going to be an Immortal Archon Adept all in. And okay, weirdest set of units I've ever seen, but it's going to work. It's going to, well, it should work, and it's going to use all the tech that PiLiPiLi has made use of this game. And now PiLiPiLi sitting here with a 10 army supply lead against a Zerg, and that is never a situation a Zerg wants to get in here, especially with the types of units that we have. Now the Adepts, they're going to do what they can, just jump on top of all these roaches. Yeah, there we go. They're not going to do that. Good decision here from PiLiPiLi. And now we have this massive Zerg army going all its way, and with Immortals firing strong, we're going to have some Spines trying to go down, but that's not even going to matter. Now the Archons are at the back, and that is the one saving grace. The good amount of this army supply not really able to fight for the moment, but there we have it. GG. JonSnow is going to have to tap out, and PiLiPiLi, he wins the series. And here we are, spawning in the upper left. In the blue, the pride of Genesis Gaming. He's PiLiPiLi. And on the other side of the map, in the red, cannot win the series, but can put a little bit extra money in his pocket. For Storm Gaming, he's JonSnow. I am observing. I am a one-man show, a one-man band. And fortunately, though, as much as I am a one-man band, I have not been banned from this channel. So, hey, there we go. Thank you. Yeah, it's so nice, but also so weird when I go and when I'm not observing, especially when you're going from a clean feed. That's the really weird one. He's kind of sitting there watching a broadcast happening. But anyway, we do have we should probably talk about this game, as we do have both a pool and a gas coming in from this game number 6. So JonSnow, he's getting a little bit spicy, even spicier as he does go in hatch block. Now this is, of course, the I don't want you to take a Nexus hatch block, not the I don't want you to wall hatch block, and that's interesting considering how aggressive our Zerg player has been, or our Zerg player wants to be, I should say. As we have a gas, we should see speed get started any second now. There we go. Speed getting started. He's going to keep 1 in here for the moment. Now, PiLiPiLi says, hey. You can be aggressive all you want. That's fine, but I don't want you to have a follow-up. I don't want you to be able to take a natural behind this. And he's going to drop the pylon. Actually, I wouldn't even be surprised to let him see him complete this one, to be totally honest. Just get that much more of a delay. And now we have the Zerglings. They're going to find their way on in, but they will not be able to get in because there are now 2 Zealots here. And PiLiPiLi is handling this wonderfully. Now with the 2 Zealots here, these Zerglings really should not get anything done. Oh no, PiLiPiLi's trying to do the cheeky thing, put a Cybercore block, but that will not happen, unfortunately for him. But JonSnow still not the best situation. But now we have a proxy hatchery in the main base, and that's something. That is absolutely something. Actually, I would like, now with having the Adept in the wall here, I would not mind seeing the second Zealot go in, make sure that this does not go up, because that's going to be an actual, it's going to be rather annoying to deal with. We got 4 probes pulled, and 4 probes plus the Zealot should be enough to get it up. At the very least, kill off before it's able to get too much done. Now, speed is just about done here, which actually doesn't make this hold really that much scarier, to be totally honest. I mean, speed allows for surrounds. And now the Adept's going to go in here. They will not be able to get this. And yeah, there we have it. The natural will be done, or that Wow, that's not the natural. I guess it's technically the natural of JonSnow, but the this proxy base will be absolutely denied here. And JonSnow's just going to have to go into the mid game at a tremendous disadvantage. And really, we can see that advantage. Carolina Reaper toss. That sounds rather uncomfortable. But yes, all 7 games are going to be played out Vitamin. The last 3 games behind the 4 required each come with a $10 bounty to the winner. So JonSnow definitely still has something to play for, even if he can't. Well, even if he cannot win the series, cannot win the lion's share of the $50 prize pool. It's 70-30. So $35 for the winner, $15 for the loser, on top of any Matcherino funds that do get added on in. And now we do have a small expeditionary force of 4 Adepts and a Zealot. Say, haha. Well, you know, we forced some damage. We made your life a little bit difficult. We've affected the hold, and that's the big thing. But now the Zerglings will find this, and they're going to look for a surround. But actually decent, but not fast actually, but somewhat decent positioning here for the Protoss units. And they will only trade some of their health to kill off a decent amount of the Zerglings that exist on the map here. Which means, of course, more Zerglings will be forced, and the more Zerglings that are forced, the less drones are produced. And the less drones that are produced, the more sad our red Zerg is. So now the Zerglings, they're going to do what they can to surround these Adepts. They should be able to get the surround off. But now PiLiPiLi is doing a great job putting himself in a corner. And while these units should die short of a recall, they will trade better than they would have previously. Yeah, they do. Actually, yeah, looks like the Zerglings are going to give up. There's just enough Protoss units there to make sure that they don't die. Thank you for the follow, Sunlily. Thank you for helping support this this brand new team. Bunch of pretty awesome people. Shout out to Madnetics. He is a badass, and he is up at far too too early in the morning. As Irish time has it about what, 2:30 his time at the moment, something like that. But as we all know, when powered by the might of passion, sleep is for the weak. I know I personally would rather watch PiLiPiLi, the Carolina Reaper toss. Is that a moniker we're sticking with? Is that what he's going to be known by now? A year from now, when we watch him playing in competing in the top 4 of DreamHack, we're going to be talking about how he's the Carolina Reaper toss. Is that what the casters are going to be saying? Absolutely. And you all heard it here first. How does it feel to be part of history? But anyway, we do see a couple more Stargates are down. We're seeing a variant of the build that PiLiPiLi did in this game number 1, or did in game number 3. Now, game number 3, we saw an attempt at a Queen Nidus all-in. Didn't work. PiLiPiLi was able to affect the defense. Now in this game number 6, well, PiLiPiLi is not really going to try that, as he has no opportunity to. He is too far behind. He has to hope the game goes late and he's able to stabilize. That being said, we do have a Spore now done as a bunch of Adepts that just stayed on their way into the third base. Can do what they can to target more and more workers down. Actually, with the Zealots here, they're doing a real good job. Actually, no, they're not. Never mind. Only 3 workers do go down, but now the Warriors are going to fly in as well. But really, this is a game in which JonSnow is asking himself, what can he do to come back? What can he do to affect some sort of game balancing decision? Now, of course, the obvious one, he gets a bunch of Zerglings into a mineral line, wipes out a mineral line, and says, yeah, I'm behind in tech a little, but I've got 4 bases. Or I will have 4 bases. I'll be at X workers, and I'll be fine because you're spending time rebuilding your economy instead of attacking me. I don't even know if that does enough, to be totally honest. I mean, as the Zerg player, especially with +1 with Void Rays, with a ton of Void Rays, especially with +1 Void Rays, you need some specific tech to deal with it. And if all you've been able to do is kill the economy after you've had such an economic disadvantage, for most of this game. Well, that's not really all that great of a position to be in, as this fourth base will get canceled. Luckily enough for our Zerg players, he had the frame of mind to go and make sure that that died. And now we're gonna have a bunch of queens, bunch of hydras. They will, of course, be able to shove this off, but the fourth has been canceled. A spore has gone down, and that by itself is pretty worth it. A queen's gonna die as well. Okay, no, PiLiPiLi. Of course, he goes back for the moment. Now goes back in. Queens die. So we have a fourth base on the way once again. Hey, it's the Latin American crew for Alpha X. Welcome, Anki. Welcome, everyone. Welcome the Alpha X Latin America channel, official channel as well. And here we go as we get on into the mid game. It's a bunch of Void Rays, and there are too many Void Rays for these Hydras to fight. But now as more Hydras do go in here, the Void Rays will be forced back for the moment. Try and just find a nice bit of dead airspace where they can only fight some of the army and not all of it. Now with these Void Rays, though, they are just a stopgap. As PiLiPiLi, he's not content with a bunch of Void Rays. They are good units, to be sure. Do not get me wrong. However, the big prize is the massive amounts of carriers that are going to come out on the map at this point. +2 air attack is on the way here, and these carriers will, of course, be better upgraded than the Zerg ground army for the moment. And yes, there are infestors on the way. Infestors are pretty good against Void Rays, but infestors really, Void Ray carriers don't really care all that much. Oh wait, never mind. That's what this is. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about infestors from the perspective of fungals, and yes, that's true. However, and this is really cool. So there are a bunch of Hydras coming out, right? A bunch of queens coming in, and actually they're going to be able to shave up a couple of these Void Rays before this even happens. When these infestors come out, the name of the game here, it's not to drop a fungal. It's not to drop a fungal and kill all the Void Rays like that. This is a microbial shroud push. This is really cool. It's cool that we've been able to see this specifically against this style that does not get storm, or does not get storm until much later, because that, microbial shroud at a certain point, it is the press storm here button. But when there's no storm, microbial shroud makes these Hydras almost invincible. They're now going to go in. They get these cannons immediately. We're going to shield battery's going to get targeted down. Actually, okay, the pilot's just going to get targeted down, and now we have the infestors from behind. As we wait for, where are the infestors? Okay, they're a little bit slow, which means this fight's kicking off even before the infestors get here. But now we have the microbial shroud, but only one of them. There we go. Now we have the second, and suddenly this fight is not good for the Protoss. The trick is, though, the engage happened before the microbial shroud was able to really get started in earnest. So the Protoss player was able to shave off a decent amount of JonSnow's army before that even happened. Now the fungal's going to be nice. Absolutely, there's just not a whole lot of interceptors here. But the Void Rays may have enough, as the Hydras are going to go on. They say, they're smelling blood, they're going to do what they can to try to get on top of things. But I'm not convinced they have enough, as the bare interceptors that come in are doing just enough to mess with the Hydra's AI. And with that, PiLiPiLi will force the all-in back, sitting here up 20 army supply. He's got a fourth base. JonSnow is just barely getting his fifth now. And suddenly, that attack that looked so cool, that looked so useful, it just came a little bit too late. And having held this, PiLiPiLi says, you know what, you committed so much to try to make this defense, or to try to make the stack. Now it's my turn to go get on the aggressive here. The fungals will land, the fungals will be nice, but now there are a ton of carriers here. The fungal's just gonna, okay, I don't even know why you'd fungal a carrier, to be totally honest. It really does not do much at all. Now the Hydras are here, and they do a decent job of killing off the interceptors, but they're just not enough of them here. These are 2-1 carriers with +1 shields being done, and the Hydras just don't have the DPS, or they don't have the health pool, more importantly. And there we have the fourth does go down, but there the fifth base is here. It's now the fourth base, and nice shade with a couple of adepts. So now PiLiPiLi, he is not going to stop. 3 more carriers on the way at a time. Carriers just slowly ambling their way over, and PiLiPiLi just has this terrifying army. He's up 30 army supply. He's mining more than his opponent, and I was just going to target this hatchery down. It's going to go down. Doesn't even really matter what the army does. But now with the Corruptors getting on top of things, maybe this is the opportunity Now we do have the Void Rays. They die immediately, and this is just a ton of Corruptors. Although, yeah, this is the Void Rays. They're just too powerful. Corruptors don't have the upgrades that they need. The carriers, they're just going to sit in a position where the ground army cannot fight, and the carriers, they reign supreme. PiLiPiLi. And here we are spawning the bottom left for the last time. Oh, that should be, there we go. Spawn in the blue. The standard bearer of Genesis Gaming. He's PiLiPiLi. And his opponent in the upper right going for a 12 pool once again in the red. He's JonSnow. And the question is, will he be able to do with it? So we have a probe going down, or a drone going down, going to look to take a natural. So this is the least committed version of the 12 pools. There we have 6 lings on the way. Should go up to 8 to 12 once again, but again, this is the goal of this. It's to put some pressure on. It's to force the Protoss build order not be what it would like to be. The goal is not to kill your opponent, although if you manage to do so, nice. But again, that's not the goal. And at players of this caliber, well, you wouldn't expect it to. Now, Oxide does have a shorter rush distance, and PiLiPiLi will be able to scout this ASAP. There we have the Zealot on the way. We'll get chronoed out, and we're going to start to see the wall ever so slowly start to go up here. Interestingly enough, he does decide to continue with the Nexus. Pretty confident that he can hold regardless. And so he's going to be able to get part of the wall up. The probe's going to go out on the map. That's rather interesting. Just to make sure he can see where the Zerglings go in from, I guess. That's rather interesting. But now probe and the Zealot fighting, more probes will be pulled, and this is going to be a pretty successful hold here for PiLiPiLi. For the moment, only one drone goes down, or only one SCV goes down. Well, I can talk. It's fine. But this is some more committed pressure than usual, to be totally honest. Generally, you only see 8 to 10 built, and you don't see really any made after the first 2, or the first that first clump. But that is not the case here. Some nice micro from PiLiPiLi. JonSnow's doing what he can to try to knock this Adept off, or the Zealot from the land of the living to the land of the dead, and it will eventually succeed. But still, really nice micro there from our blue Protoss player. Doing a great job. Just make sure he doesn't die, and that is, of course, the goal. So in game number 1, when this didn't work, he got a couple workers. He was able to pull things off the line that much further, and he still lost the game. Not because of that, but not because he was not able to get enough damage, but he was caught off guard. This time, PiLiPiLi took almost 0 damage. Finds himself up from an economic perspective, up from a tempo perspective, up from a tech perspective, and he's got to feel pretty confident about this game. I mean, he's had a great series thus far. He's up 5-1. And yeah, just gonna go see what he can. We do have a Stargate on the way. I would expect this to just be for an Oracle. There are of course other options, but again, Oracle just kind of what makes sense. Allows him to establish map control, make sure that he can take his third at a reasonable time, not lose to a bunch of speedlings suddenly showing up in his base that he's not expecting. And now with the Adepts going in here, they're gonna find themselves in their way into the main base now. And nice kiting there, so they're just gonna be able to pick up a bunch of Zerglings. And now the drones are, well, the drones are going. They're going to start going down. This is already a rather low econ opener from our blue, from our red Zerg player. Really nice position there, actually. So apparently an Adept can hit the low ground from the high ground. So I didn't know Adepts had that much range, but apparently they do. Nice job, PiLiPiLi, finding that little spot. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but does force the spore that, in all honesty, that JonSnow would like to do anyways. Yeah, I would be all down to cast a best of 69 most days. Not today. I am too sick for that. My voice would give out. But you know, hey, Madnetics, if you want me to do a best of 69 sometime when I don't have PhD work to do, I am absolutely down for that. That sounds like a fun time. Anyway. Well, I say that sounds like a fun time now, but okay. Best of 69s, they take what, 12 hours? Something like that? I think the longest casting day I've done is 14 hours. That was a long day. Anyway, okay, so now we do have Oracle's going to go in. Really shouldn't be able to get a whole lot done here. Not with the spores. Actually, really interesting spore positioning. It works out because of where PiLiPiLi did decide to run in, to put his Oracle in on, but normally it wouldn't, right? Generally, you would want the spore there because that's the more likely aggression position. Anyway, pretty cool. And now we do have just a bunch of Zerglings on the way here. So JonSnow, once again, he says, well, you know what? I have taken too much damage. I don't feel too confident about my position here. But I have the ability to use a Zergling printer, and that is what I shall do. Is we're going to see a bunch of Zerglings. Probably a bunch of roaches too. Stream their way across the map, do what they can to try to deal with the third base, but there are a lot of adepts here. There's a shield battery, and, well, the Oracle's on their way home, too. I'm not confident this is going to be able to get the third base, but it's not even trying, and actually, okay, yeah. So now it's going to dive on top of the third base and say, okay, wait, there's a lot of stuff here. I don't really want to do that. But if we take the position between the natural and the third, that's where things get a little bit scary, a little bit spooky. Now, with the Queen's pressing, well, waddling across the map, the all-in has truly commenced in earnest. PiLiPiLi, 50 sitting at about 60 workers to the 35 JonSnow here. If he holds this, he wins the game. But the question is not whether if he holds it, but when. Or so to say, the question is not a question of economy at this point. The question is a question of whether he's able to hold this rather significant all-in coming through. And if it was just roaches and lings, I don't think PiLiPiLi would be all that scared. But with the Queens coming in here, it means that the air tech that he's committed to so much has really not. Well, it's really not going to be allowed to happen, but now the Adepts are going to do what they can to get on top of the Queens. ASAP, now the Zergling is going to run in from behind. Everything's going to get surrounded, and we're going to see some biles go up. But the Adepts are going to be able to get on their way through. And now the Roaches, the Lings, they're going to get on top of everything. These two cannons are not going to be enough. And now with the shield battery overcharge, they may just do something. And now with the shield battery overcharge here, more and more shield batteries on the way. Robo is now done, which means we're going to eventually have we're going to have Immortals on the map. But the probes have been pulled. PiLiPiLi, he's got to do what he can to try to make the hold here, but it doesn't look like he has enough. There are just not enough shield batteries, just not enough cannons. But as I say that, the lift is there. We have more and more warpins going in, and as long as PiLiPiLi holds this, he wins the game. It's not a question of does he take enough economic damage. The economic damage he takes at some point doesn't really matter. But now with the two Queens, are there enough to shoot this Void Ray away? And now with the Immortal is out though, and Zergling's going to be able to get on top of that. Just die that off, but now the shield battery finishes at just the right moment. The cannon as well. The Immortal is just doing tremendous work here. And the Queens, they're not firing at the units on the ground, but another Immortal is going to be out sooner rather than later. And it looks like PiLiPiLi, it looks like he's just barely stabilizing. 14 army supply to 20. That's PiLiPiLi, he's doing what he can. There, of course, there are no probes on the third base, but that doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter how much economy he loses as long as he holds this. This is so all in, and he's done it. PiLiPiLi, he forces JonSnow back. And sure, JonSnow, he's been droning behind this just a little. He's got a lair done. He's got a Hydrogen on the way, but it's 48 workers. There are 2 Queens on the map. The tech isn't there. Plus two is on the way. More and more Immortals as well, and I mean, PiLiPiLi, he's got 3 bases. He can chrono out as many probes as he would like, and he's already got that worker lead. What an insane hold from PiLiPiLi. What an insane hold. And now we have charge, it's done, we have a bunch more gates on the way. We have the ability to make Archons, and we're just going to go into Charge Light Immortal Archon, and that should just bowl over the Zerg army that exists in this game. Because in all honesty, you know, JonSnow committed so much to that attack. He committed 5 Queens and a bunch of army, a bunch of larvae off of about 37 workers. Went up to 45 about halfway through. And, well, when you commit that much and you do not kill your opponent, don't even get that many workers. You only got 19 workers. And I say, oh man, I say, oh Bamel, that's a lot of workers. Absolutely it is. But in the context of this game, not nearly enough. So now we have a bunch of charge lots of Immortal Archons. A Void Ray going in, clearing off some creep. We should be able to get so much more of that. Do we have a Warp Prism? We do. Okay, so now we're going to see another massive Warp. And this time it's going to be a bunch of High Templar. We're going to have a bunch more Archons. And this army is absolutely terrifying. Void Ray is just going to run on into the main base, I guess, to assassinate some Overlord. And that's actually a really cool play. It's going to supply block JonSnow here as he has to make his defense. Pull the queens out of position as well. I don't even think JonSnow cares about losing that void, or PiLiPiLi cares about losing that void rate, to be totally honest. Now the Chargers, they're going to get on top of things, but the bulk of the army, that is the scary thing. 4 Archons, a bunch of Immortals. Now the trick is here, of course, there's just not a lot. There's not a lot here, and actually he will force a recall. A bunch of Archons will go down. Immortal will go down as well, but the scary thing is this charge lot warp in the main base. It looks like he's gonna be here. Yeah. So PiLiPiLi, he's gonna be able to get the lair, and that is this is a 2-base Zerg on Hatch Tech against a 3-base Protoss player. And sure, he had to recall. And sure, he took a little bit more damage than he would have liked there, but that was honestly just a distraction more than anything else. I really would have just liked to see the recall happen a little bit faster. And now we're going to have a bunch of chargeless. They're going to do what they can. Yeah, they're really not going to be able to get a whole lot done here. Here we go. +3 on the way. Only +1 done for our Zerg player. And now JonSnow on the assault once again. This time it's getting a little bit scary. The army of PiLiPiLi absolutely out of position. And there is no recall available anymore. 2 disruptors on the way. 1, of course, will not complete. Now, they'll just get targeted down. And now we have the army of PiLiPiLi. Well, most of it's on the other side of the map. Charge lot warpins on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, doing their very best to cut off reinforcements. But the army at the front is the terrifying thing. With the Immortals and the Archons, all the tech of the army is here. But it takes more than a little bit. It takes more than tech to kill off a Zerg army. They are acquitting themselves well, don't get me wrong. But there's just no bolt. There's nothing here to stand between the tech and everything else. Now the disruptor's going to go in, and it will not go off. Okay, these charge lots, they do need to be microed. 1 charge lot will go on in. Charge lots on the 3rd base, that needs to be microed as well. And now with the Stalkers here, the army will eventually get cleaned up. Blink is done in about 20 seconds as well. But now the charge lots, they've been sent on into the natural, into the 3rd base, and I'm honestly not sure it matters. There we have it, GG PiLiPiLi. He's going to take this best of 7, 6-1.